Hey, welcome back to the program. This is episode number 5. Take that, Twitter. You didn't think I could make it to episode 5. And today our guest is Katy. I believe her last name is Day. Katy Day. And she is an actress, a cosplayer, and she does the Weird Flex, but okay, podcast. I've seen her a couple of times on Twitter. I've seen her talk with mutuals, and I'm like, whatever, that's good enough. Jimmy, roll the intro, who cares?
You ever been to a party where everything is going swell? And you turn to somebody, say, I'm Gage, I hope you're well. And they say, we've met before. And you say,
What it be? Hey. What it do, what it be? Hey, bada bing. My name's Gage Agnew, and welcome to Mildly Familiar. I'm just rolling right into it. Welcome to Mildly Familiar. Fuck!
Hell yeah.
Hey, welcome to Mildly Familiar. Today on the podcast, we have... I don't know if it's like a podcast or a video interview. I'm still trying to get a hold of that. But today we have Katy. We have Katy on the podcast.
Nice to meet everybody, and you for the first time, probably.
Yeah. That's an interesting story because I just saw you on Twitter, and I just kind of cold called you out of nowhere because, well, typically when I do these, I want to somewhat know the guest, and I feel like for these past couple, I know the guest a little too well, so I'm like, I need to go in the complete opposite direction and get a total stranger on this podcast. And I was just scrolling through like, oh, who do I follow? Who do other people follow? And your name popped up, and I'm like, yeah, good enough.
Oh, wow. So you found me through, like, I guess you just saw some mutual follows. It's not like you followed me for a little bit and was like, oh, see who this person is. It was, like, totally random. That's actually interesting.
Yeah. We, You follow a couple of voice actors I know, and yeah. And so did you get your start in voice acting in the web sphere, I guess?
Yeah, I've actually talked about it on my podcast that I host with Jordan Jackson.
Oh, what is that podcast called?
The Weird Flex, but okay podcast. And anyway, yeah. But no, I can totally talk about it here because I haven't really done like a lot of shows with other people. I mostly just like run my own shows with people, and it's awesome. But yeah, no, I actually have been doing theater since like middle school. And after a little bit of time in theater, I actually did a lot of film, like indie film. Like I performed on camera before.
Very cool.
I did a little thing on TV once, but I will not reveal what it was because I'm just like, oh my God, I hate it. Like it was the worst thing.
She was in Power Rangers, everybody. You're welcome.
I wish. But no, yeah, I've done like a lot of work with like indie films, and then voiceover specifically was very drawing to me. I've been an online voice actress for about 7-8 years. I started out on the interwebs. I'm trying to like contextualize it perfectly. I went to a lot of conventions. When it comes to like, I guess my start in like the voiceover scene, I've been cosplaying and going to cons since I was like 12 years old. Like,
really?
Yes, I have.
That's a long ass time, man.
But yeah, I've been like in the cosplay community for a long time, con community. I actually was like marketing director for a con for a bit. Like I've put my hands in a lot of pies, but like years ago, I was already doing a lot of different acting. And of course I was obsessed with cartoons. Like my high school experience was I was doing theater during the week and I was going to cons on the weekend. Like, and so naturally, eventually some stuff kind of molded together as I met more people at cons. Cause I was always a very like social person. I was always very extroverted and like, wow, like I love all this stuff. Cons actually kind of helped make me more that way.
Oh, awesome. You are getting a bunch of random strangers coming up to you, and you're coming up to a bunch of random strangers. That was at least my con experience.
Yeah, I also never stopped talking. It's like, yeah, so I was like, might as well make a job out of that. But no, long story short, I love the abridged community.
Hey, Joey. Heirs to Joey.
Hey, are you in there? It's your move. Sorry, you. Doing this Brooklyn accent makes it difficult to concentrate on card games.
I loved
Oh.
everything having to do with that, like online fan animation, stuff like that. And I met people at cons that were kind of doing stuff with that were kind of like, hey, have you thought about voiceover? And I was like, sure. And so I got like a mic and I got some auditions from some people that were already like doing projects like in online communities and stuff. Like, I was always a fan of Team 4 Star, Little Karibo, all the good stuff. And from there, I just kept auditioning, kept doing stuff. I did a few audiobooks a long time ago, like just, dipping my feet and everything. But now I've kind of settled into, I love character work. I love like, I really want to get into commercial one day. Like I love just talking and cartoons and all that good stuff. And that is kind of my origin story in that sense, the very bare bones minimum.
What was your favorite role in high school and middle school?
Okay, when it comes to a straight play that I did, there was a show called All Because of Agatha, and I played the cougar aunt. And I had to use like this weird accent, absolutely Caligarian, darling. Like it was like kind of this like
an importance of being earnest kind of accent.
Yeah, like this foppish voice, but it was like my first time, I guess, playing with like voices in that way on stage, because usually I was just me in a way, but like acting. But yeah, that was my favorite like straight play role, and it was like very silly, over the top, because I loved playing very like energetic like characters. And then I did a lot more musical theater, and my favorite role I've ever had in musical theater was actually in a community theater. It wasn't with school. I played the giraffe in Just So, which it's like a show about like animals and like the creation of something. I don't know. I don't remember it very well, but
It might have been the Bible?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't, interesting enough. Although I think the dude that made it did write maybe some Bible stuff, but no. If you look up Just So, it it was like about animals and finding their place in the world, and like it was really cool. But yeah, I was the giraffe, and I had to tap dance, and I got a solo song, and it was wonderful. And I had like this terrible Australian accent, and it was great. And like I could probably find pictures somewhere deep in my Facebook. Like,
Jimmy, put that up on the screen.
yeah, there it is.
I'm kidding. We're not going to do that to you.
Yeah, that was those are my favorite theater roles and whatnot.
That's great. And what did you learn from high school and middle school that you would bestow upon actors and children today?
Oh my gosh. So
We can skip this if you want.
no, like honestly, I mean, I do like an advice podcast, so like I give advice out like left and right all the time. Not that I'm qualified to do so by any.
Right. I do the same thing, whether it's warranted or unwarranted. So.
But I guess like there's a lot of different directions that question I guess can go, because advice for like life versus advice for wanting to be an entertainer, and then when you have to look at the way things have changed now versus how they were back then. But one piece of advice that I was given, maybe it was when I was right out of high school, but it's just kind of like a life advice thing, but also just a life thing, is like, whatever you want to do, like there's just two things that you need to get down flat. One, don't be an asshole.
That's a very important one. Sorry to interrupt.
Sure, like one, don't be an asshole, and two, be good at what you do. Like, and you will always work. And that's in any field, especially entertainment, and like just kind of putting yourself out there in situations whenever it comes to like making friends or networking or whatever, going into it with just that mindset of like, I know that I'm good at what I do. I'm confident in what I do. Don't be cocky about it. Don't be an asshole. Like, and then
Right.
Another lesson that kind of ties in with that is this too shall pass. That's a quote that I really like. Whenever you're like in a rut where maybe you're not booking for a while, or, in life, if there's like a week of time where it's like, fuck, like I feel useless, or I, insert negative emotion, like objectively, like in the world, you will have bad times, but you will have good times. You'll bounce back. Like it's all good. You just have to kind of keep that vision. And that's a very generic, I guess, mindset, but it has proven true more times than I can name.
Is there any specific example where you're like, in 8th grade, I was feeling down on my luck. I just killed a man in 8th grade, and and now I had to recover it. But it all turned out for the better.
I mean, honestly, with like middle school and high school and stuff, I would definitely say, like, because I don't know how many middle schoolers or high schoolers are listening to this.
0.
I don't honestly, that shit doesn't fucking matter, dude. Like, I mean, it matters in the sense of like, you know, there's a possibility that stuff you do there that you might, you know, get some skills that you can like take forward in life.
Like killing a man in the 8th grade.
It's true. Like you can murder him in cold blood and no one will ever know because it was in middle school.
And you have to live with that.
It's true. But like, yeah, I remember that feeling where it was like, oh God, people tell me like this is supposed to be the best time of my life or this or that, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, I went to college and, you know, I kept like growing and meeting people and doing things. And like the best time of your life is today. Like I know that sounds like super help book, superficial or whatever, but it's like, it's true. Like like when I look back like a year ago versus 5 years ago, objectively, like I've, you know, been doing my best every day, like little increment steps, but I'm objectively further than I was a year ago or 5 years ago. And I find myself always finding new varying ways to feel happy, to feel fulfilled. Like you'll never truly be satisfied whenever you hit like a mark that you feel like, oh, this was like a goal that I had. When you hit it, there's always going to be more. And you should expect that. Like, you know, just humble yourself and like climb things at the pace that you're meant to climb them at. And that's how you kind of create that like sustainable foundation of like happiness. And if you ever are like faltering from that, that's okay too. Like life will just fucking be that way.
Yeah, just my unwarranted advice once again is or suggestion, I think the journey is a lot more rewarding in itself than the actual. If you book a gig, great, but if you like work really hard, you take classes, that's a little more rewarding in my opinion.
It's all about chasing skill. Like every day that you're moving forward, think about what am I doing to better myself as a person or as an entertainer, and like also putting like stock in healthy relationships. That is very important. Like because when it comes to having a solid foundation of like, you know, love in yourself and like, you know, with others, like it has to come from like a very real place. And so whatever it is that you're doing, whenever you're meeting someone, if you're going to like some event and it's labeled as like a networking party, I've always found that like kind of a gross concept.
Yeah, I 100% know what you're saying. I live in Los Angeles, so I know it too. Networking.
I've been to the LA a few times as well.
Yeah, I agree. It's gross when people are like, "Hey, what do you do?" Because I know people who aren't in the entertainment industry that have gone to those parties and they're like, I don't do much. And they're like, okay. And they move on to the next person. Like, come on.
And it's like, you just need to treat everybody with like decency and respect. Not that anyone's entitled to your time or anything, but like, cause one time I was at this event that I was like doing something with, and this kid comes up to me. I mean, he's probably like 2 years younger than me. So here I am calling him a kid.
Fucking punk.
Yeah. But he's just like, oh, you know, like I heard this was like a networking event. And I'm like, oh, I mean, sure. You know, like, maybe life is a networking event, you know, all my spiritual bullshit. But like he's just like, oh well, can I add you on Facebook? I'm trying to network. And it's just like the skeeviest like feeling.
Ugh.
We have like maybe one conversation, like because it's about establishing like genuine relationships with people. And like I heard this really good quote on the Game Grumps, funny enough, when it comes to like collaborating or meeting people. It's like people can tell when they're being hunted. You never want to be a hunter when it comes to like networking. You want to be like a gatherer, like a builder. Like you want to always go into a situation offering and never wanting anything in return. And obviously if you're talking to a good person, like you will help each other in ways, but it's about going into it not expecting anything except for, hey, I have something to maybe offer. But it's also like that social game of you shouldn't go up to people like, hey, I have this here, take it, like because you know that can also be like good. But like
yeah.
But like just treat people like fucking people. Do your own shit, do your own work your fucking ass off, and like you'll meet people naturally through the work that you're doing. Like if you're just, you know, being social and interested in creating genuine relationships. Not everyone will be your best friend, but like I like to think that over the years I've accumulated like a lot of connections that are people that I genuinely have like a connection with. Like we have a friendship. Like maybe we're not like gonna invite each other to our Christmas, like family Christmas every year or something, but like
For sure.
like it's about like also accepting that if a relationship isn't what you want it to be or what you think it should be, that's also just how life works. Like no one is gonna fit into a box you want to shove them in. People are fucking people. You just need to talk to them and do your own shit. And if you bond over something, lean into that. Like, I have some of my best relationships. My best friend Jordan, he goes by Jack's Blade on the YouTubes. Like, he's one of my fucking confidants. Like, he's one of my fucking rocks in my life. And we met on Twitter. Like, it's so crazy how like life can happen when you just chase real experiences and you don't let yourself get caught up in that icky stuff. Like because it's honestly not worth your fucking mental peace to like, you know, going into those parties or those situations where you're just like, oh, I need to meet someone tonight. Like, because I've gone to so many parties at like cons and stuff where, you know, there's probably important people there, and I just sat with like someone that seemed really cool in the corner for 2 hours, and I made a friend that night. And now me and those friends like get together on Discord and play games together or do silly script reads. Like find the real shit. Don't try to please people. Find someone that you like feel pleased by. Like,
please yourself first and foremost.
It's a big tangent, but like that's how I feel. Like that's how it be.
No, I love those sorts of tangents. As weird as this sounds, especially with people who I just met before, because if they wear their emotions on their sleeve, I'm like, what more do they have to hide? Not much.
I mean, I'm sure if you've seen from my Twitter, I never stop tweeting.
Oh no, I tweet like every day. It's a problem. I met most of my friends here on Twitter.
Me too.
So when the Game Grumps got rid of their old couch, I was the one that took it.
That was
Someone drew fan art of that couch, and I followed them on Twitter and be like, "Hey, I like your art," and they're like, "Hey, I'm doing this art thing over here," and I'm like, "Great." And I met her and her boyfriend, and they're some of my best friends now.
That's so cool. Like, it's little moments like that. Like, the social internet has created like an environment where stuff like that is possible. Like, the internet definitely has its ups and downs, but one of the ups that I always lean into is like it can really be a tool. Like, I was listening to another podcast recently. It was the Trash Taste podcast hosted by like Sea-Dog and Giguk and them, and they were talking about how Twitter feels like Facebook for entertainers. And I was like, that's yeah.
I agree with that, but it goes back to what you were saying before. Don't expect anything out of it.
No.
But if something does come out of it, it's pretty cool.
Like, it's a place where you can kind of like play and have fun and like meet, like share like your personality with people, and like you can, I guess, maybe express yourself in ways that maybe other platforms don't like let you, and maybe you can like make a friendship with that. Like, that could be cool. If you don't, like,
no love lost.
It's fun. Like, have fun. That's kind of the point. Like, yeah.
So I want to go back to what you said a little bit earlier. You're talking about cosplaying. That's how I kind of know you the best. You did a Wendy's cosplay. How did that come into the line?
So it's actually a really fun story. I am a huge fan of sassy anime girls that like are really cute, but they just curse like a sailor, and that like has always been like an aesthetic that I enjoy. And so when I saw the Wendy's Twitter roasting people, my first thought was like, oh my god, like, you know, as the rest of the internet picked up, the rest of the internet was also like, this is hilarious. And it's like my brand of bullshit is like a cute girl, like, you know, I know it's a brand, it's not a real girl.
It's my brand, I'm cute, it's great.
But no, yeah, that face, that smug Wendy face, like roasting people, I fucking loved that. And I loved cosplaying now. Like, because when I first started cosplaying, I was cosplaying, you know, for fun, but I was trying to go for like more accuracy and like stuff like that. Like, but later in my cosplay life, I wanted to do more silly meme cosplays. Like, and I did like a Legend of Bernie, Zelda cosplay, like the Legend of Hyrule, like something like that. I did a Cooking by the Book cosplay with Jordan.
Oh, the Lazy Town thing, right?
You gotta do the cooking by the book. You know you can't be lazy.
Yeah, I cosplayed that meme. And the Wendy's one, I was like, you know what? I kind of want to do this. Like, because she kind of has this, like, roast persona. Like, I got, like, a fresh gold chain commissioned from a friend. I kind of, you know, I'm a southern white girl. So, you know, it's an easy look for me to pull off. I got a red wig. I commissioned a crop top. And I even went and bought the, like, fabric that looked like that southern, like, fabric. And then I wore some booty shorts. And I, like, just went to cons, and I would, like, it was during the prime of the meme, so, you know, everybody was in on it.
The peak of the meme.
So I was, like, handing out salt packets to people, like, and I was just making meme jokes. Like, it was an interactive cosplay because I love interactivity. I love talking to people. Like, anything that can create a conversation, like, that's kind of one of the things I loved about cons, is it was this interactive experience. And so I would just go around doing that. And then I had a lot of friends in the cosplay community that like loved the meme, and so, you know, they would take my picture, it would be shared around, and I was like tweeting like a mad lad, like at Wendy's, and they would like my tweets. They never retweeted me until the Dungeons and Dragons campaign that they did. They
Right, that was pretty recent too, right?
pretty recent, less than a year ago, I think.
In this quarantine, anything could be like 8 years ago, and I'd be like, wow, did that happen yesterday?
Yeah, for sure.
Time means nothing.
Yes, when they made that, then they introduced that new costume. I was like, I have to do this. Like, I am Wendy's girl. And so I commissioned my friend to do that, and I commissioned my friend to be a photographer because he's a wonderful photographer. And so we got like, and I made a Ko-fi goal because I was doing a cosplay Ko-fi thing at the time. And Wendy's themselves donated $200 to it. Like, they actually gave me money.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. And they did that, and I used the money to pay the artist that helped make like the stuff. I just put it on, like, and then we did a photo shoot, and they retweeted it, and like that was pretty much, you know, the end of the story. There was never like any more. You know, we DM'd a little bit, and like there was like
I slipped into their DMs, tried to get a couple coupons.
oh, you know, like they had also sent me coupons before, after they'd seen my cosplay. They had sent me like $20 of like a Wendy's gift card. Like it was fun, but you know, it never turned into anything more than that. And like, not that I ever truly expected anything. I was just having fun. Like, it was a fun situation that I wanted to see how far it went, because that's what life is. Like,
Absolutely.
just keep playing until the next thing. And so that's pretty much like ended, I guess. You know, who knows? Like, they might make another thing. I also had made a music video for when they dropped their diss track, We Beefin'. Me and some friends made a music video for it, and it was funny.
I know the reason you hate me, cause I'm fast food's first lady. It's Queen Wendy up in this thing. Y'all can't beat us serving them things. Y'all too chicken for this beef. I'ma leave you resting in grease.
Yeah, it was just a fun time, and it was really cool that they actually, I guess, had me on their radar for whatever. And who knows, maybe one day I'll work with Wendy's as like a commercial voice actress.
That would be the goal. That's the dream right there.
If I could be the voice of a Wendy's commercial, I would die. That's a dream I'm putting into the universe.
Oh, I could probably edit like a quick meme together right here. If you want to do like a trial run.
Oh my god. All right, here's my audition,
Okay.
Wendy's. Are you ready? The new queso burger, the 4 for $4 burger. It's really delicious, and you should hire me to eat it. Thank you, Wendy's. I love you.
Could you do that one more time, but with more saliva in your mouth? Like, you really want to eat it? Yeah.
Of course, okay. Wendy's, I love you so much. Oh my god, I want to eat your food. Oh my god. Blah, blah. Thank you.
Yay! You hired.
No idea what that looked like on camera. I was just gargling water, but Wendy's will hire me.
They're like, yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for.
Perfect. You're hired on the spot.
And also, you said that you're from the South. What, if you don't mind, what state or like region are you from?
Yeah, I'm from Alabama.
Alabama. Oh, I'm from Florida myself.
Yeah, I born and raised in Alabama.
That's great. We can talk about Southern things like Waffle House and Whataburger.
Oh, actually, yes, those are two things that I do enjoy. I really do enjoy those places, and I miss them.
I went back home recently because I thought I saw the peak in coronavirus, and I thought, that's where I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I went there, and they're like, what do you want to do, Gage? My parents, that's they. And I said, I want to go to Waffle House. So we went to Waffle House twice, and I'm like, this is the best vacation ever. And I came back, and things have never been the same.
I've gone out to LA a few times because I have some friends out there that would like let me crash when I went to Anime Expo or just like other stuff. And I tried In-N-Out, and yeah.
No, it's not great. It's not great.
It's not. I mean, the burger was all right, but the fries were soggy. You know, I feel like I'm repeating what everyone else has said.
Well, people like worship In-N-Out on it. It's sort of a meme in itself when people are like, "Oh, In-N-Out is the best burger ever."
Yeah,
but no, it's not. I'm more of a Five Guys boy myself.
Whataburger is also just good, and also, of course, Wendy's.
Whataburger has this podcast is sponsored by Wendy's. Oh, I saw that in your. By the way, I wrote no questions for this interview. I I was running around a lot this morning and didn't get to it, so why not? I'm just kind of going by like what I saw in your Twitter bio and what I saw on your Twitter interactions. So I saw that you did some Ruby stuff. Did you?
Yeah. So as I said earlier, I did a lot in I enjoy the abridging community. And so you know what an abridged series is, right?
Explain. I totally know what it is, but explain to the audience what it is.
Yeah. So yeah, like back in the day, Little Karibo made this thing called Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, where he would like redub like and rewrite the story of Yu-Gi-Oh! Using the existing animation, and made it a comedy series. And then Team 4 Star followed suit with Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and then it kind of became like this thing.
Damn it, I'm lonely. Might as well check MySpace.
And I am a part of a team that we make content. We make a Ruby Abridged series. We also do comic dubs. We've made original VR shorts. We've made World of Remnant Abridged, which is like an audio play. We have like a lot of voice actors and like people that we try to voice match the original characters, the original actors at Rooster Teeth. And so if you go and watch any of our content, it's at Kruby Productions, KRWBY Productions. We do like a lot of fun fan content. So bottom line, we are not directly affiliated with Rooster Teeth at all. I've never been in actual Ruby. We do have a lot of friends though at Rooster Teeth that are on like the modeling team, the animation team. We do have connections with Rooster Teeth that they know about us. We've talked, but like
we're in the sphere of Ruby.
In terms of like there's no beef. Like everyone's good, because usually in abridging like there's that fear of like copyright claims and like but we're in a very special situation with Rooster Teeth, and that could change anytime, with like Warner Media like owning Rooster Teeth more now. And
oh yeah, I forgot. Are they on HBO Max, Rooster Teeth now?
I couldn't say. You'd have to Google it. Like I can't truly remember, but
Jimmy, put that up on the screen.
Yeah. But I know a lot of stuff has changed, and so our relationship could change. But we do still have like friends that like work there, and like people that are there that have openly said that they enjoy our work, and like that's a really cool feeling. Like because we actually in the volume 7 season finale, or it's one of the last, not the latest season, but the last season, we were actually in the credits, Kruby Productions.
Right on.
Yeah, we got a thank you credit. Just because some of the people that work there were like fans of us and wanted to put us in for making like some fan content stuff, and yeah, like it's really cool. We enjoy making like the silly Ruby stuff, and it's like, and I play Weiss-Schnee, I play Penny Belladonna, I play Cinderfall and Velvet the Chocolate Rabbit in our little abridged series. We do voice matching, and we have a pretty big cast. We're kind of a different situation compared to other abridged stuff, and like we're kind of in a transitioning period where we're kind of like changing some stuff up, like because we want to keep creating, but as YouTube changes, there's lots of things change. Sometimes we just have to like reevaluate and like
adapt,
go different directions and stuff, and like I do a lot with Kruby, and I also on the YouTube sphere, I'm a writer and actress for this YouTube channel called Dr. Crafty.
So what exactly are you proudest of writing it for Mr. Dr. Crafty?
Honestly, I'm a writer I write half the main show episodes, and I write all of the Kara Cafe episodes, which are hosted by a character that I play, Pepper. It's like the original character that is made for that show. And yeah, there's some episodes I was actually really happy with. That there's one episode that hasn't even come out yet that I'm really happy with for this season. I won't say what it is, but it's an anime that I really enjoy, and I got to write a script for it, and I feel like I wrote the characters in a very fun way, and I think the script was really good. I honestly think that's my favorite one, and yeah, there were so many that I wrote, like. And if you watch it, like, you'll probably like see my name in the credits and stuff, and all the Kara Cafe ones. It just kind of gave me this place where I could free run with it, because I had full control in terms of like the direction and like, well, because what Dr. Crafty will do is he'll create an outline of some stuff that needs to happen, some information that needs to be needs to be shared, because it's an information like educational kind of show that's also a silly comedy. It teaches you about character design. It teaches you about like, I don't know, color wheels and blah, all the good stuff. And so I get to make it flow together and also put jokes in, and then they will animate whatever it is that I want to exist. If I want there to be a coffee mug that says #1 tsundere, I can write that in and they'll make it. And that makes me that power makes me very happy.
I just imagine you're at like a Thanksgiving dinner and be like, I can put the mug in. I have that power.
Dude, like that was like, oh, that's a wonderful part of like this experience that I've kind of been blessed with Dr. Crafty is like, because of the production that he's kind of created, it does kind of give me that freedom versus like within a bridge series, you're stuck with the existing animation to an extent, you know, if you can do some special edits, like do you know who Something Witty Entertainment are?
I do not.
Oh, well, they do a Sword Art Online abridged, and I was actually a voice in the most recent preview for their upcoming episode of Sword Art Online abridged, and that's like a big like abridged channel that they do a lot of cool shit. I recommend looking them up. They do some really good stuff.
Jimmy, put that up on the screen.
Greetings! How are you folks doing today? Ooh, a spriggan!
Yeah, but they do really wonderful edits, like visual stuff, and like it's so awesome the talent that I've seen created like in the online fan sphere. But yeah, so a lot of the work that I do is like, you know, fan animation like stuff. I have worked like voice matching is like my bread and butter, honestly. Like I do a lot of like I've done stuff with Animation Rewind, which they're and Rewind Rumble, they kind of do a parody of what Death Battle like kind of is, but like a little like lower scale, I guess. And then they've done like little shorts where I played like Peach and Amy and like this little dating thing that they did, and like it was really fun. And yeah, like I do a lot of work like that, and I really enjoy like doing it. Like I guess like at the end of the day, like in the online voice acting sphere, there's so many options of like things you can do. And I actually did book a game recently for the first time. That
Congratulations.
It's not out yet. Like, you know, I get, you know, NDAs and whatnot, but like, you know, I'm working my way up. Like I've been in the online voice acting sphere for like 7 years, and like a lot of the work that I've done, you know, imposter syndrome can be like, oh, well, you just do fan content.
Oh my God. I have that every day of my life.
Yup.
Yup. Yup.
It's true. And so, yeah, I do a lot of things, but, you know, I'm hoping the more stuff that I do, it'll get me closer, you know, getting to that next goal. Like, cause I do have goals, and like being in a game was definitely a goal that I have. And so we'll see if like when the game comes out on Steam, like, you know, how that goes. And like, I mean, I'm just like an extra in it, but that's still a step. Like, you know, it's all about, you know,
climbing that ladder bit by bit.
Mm-hmm. And just like creating what you want to create and see in the world. And like, that's what fan projects can do. Like, you know, there's like a lot of like, you know, I have a lot of creative energy that I want to put out there. I want to make cool shit with cool people. And like, I've very recently gotten to do that a lot. And I'm just, you know, very thankful. And like, I'm really happy with the relationships that I've like established, like real foundations of like friendship with people that like I think are really cool. And like, we have like this respect, and like and on the weekends recently, I've just been doing like funny script reads with some of my actor friends, and like Katy from 5 years ago would like be sobbing right now, because that was like something I always really wanted to do, was have like friends that we could just, you know, make dick jokes together over like a Tome game or something.
Absolutely. Peak of comedy. I love it.
I know. Like, yeah.
You mentioned those script reads. I wanted to ask about that. What script reads have you been doing for like certain projects or certain episodes of something? Because that interests me.
It's actually funny when I say script reads, because I tweeted the other day that I've just been doing like script reads with friends, and those are very much just like private, like it's not like for a project or anything. It's like we're just all actors having a good time, and we've been like downloading visual novels, you know, like the Nekoparas, or like there's this one game called Making Lovers it's this terrible like visual novel, but we've just been doing silly voices over it. Or we've been playing Ace Attorney, or there's this game called Aviary Attorney that's really good, and it's just like, you know, a visual novel, like lots of dialogue, and so we've just been voicing it, and it's just been so fun. We haven't like recorded it at all, because we're just, you know, dicking around, like having a good time. But we might, who knows, we might stream something like that one day. But
yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, we also get fan fiction, so that's where like a lot of the script reading comes in,
and a lot of the dick jokes.
Yeah, because I mean, it being real, because me and my friends that are doing this, we're kind of like in the abridging scene, and like, you know, we've also done it with like a few voice actors that are actually like doing quote unquote real work too, like, because, you know, we're just having fun. We just want to do silly voices, and we in my like little, I have like a birthday server that like a bunch of my friends came to for my birthday a few months ago, and everyone's just kind of stuck around. And like on the weekends, like, because I also have a lot of friends that are voice actors, we'll just get in the server and like fucking hunt down fan fiction of shows that we like and like read it as like cartoon characters like saying dick and like doing a bunch of weird shit. It's been kind of my happy place lately because I've like always wanted to have like a friend group where we could do that shit and I miss cons because cons are where you could do an 18 plus panel where you could read silly fanfic, but we can't really do that right now. So
Is there anything that you're watching right now or reading right now that you're like, oh, I'm really on the Rugrats hype train right now? Have you been watching Rugrats lately?
not Rugrats, but I do have shows I've been watching. Funny enough, with my friends, we actually stayed up till 6 a.m. last night watching anime because on the weekends we get together and watch anime. Seasonal anime right now that I recommend are Rent a Girlfriend. It is so good.
Okay.
If you are a degenerate like me, it is wonderful. And
Sure.
there's also this show called like HX Eros, so like heroes, but with like an X right after the H. But really, I think its true name is Horny Power Rangers. That's what we refer to it as. Just trust me, it's incredibly terrible and I love it. Like, we like to watch bad anime and just make fun of it while we watch it. Like, it's really fun. But Rent a Girlfriend is actually like really good.
Like legitimately good.
Yeah. It's got its horny bullshit, but it's wonderful. And of course, there's the new Sword Art Online season happening right now, and it's terrible. So of course we're watching it. Like, it's really great.
Yeah, my friend, do you know Dave Capdeville?
That name sounds familiar.
He just does these creature cassette things. Yeah, watch Dave Capdeville on Twitch Live right now.
Yeah, that name, like, it's coming to my head. Like, I know we probably follow each other.
He just does these wonderful little, he brings a bunch of his friends together and they rant over a movie on Twitch. And it's usually just a VHS tape that he found, and he's like, I don't know what's on this tape. We'll watch it and talk over it, damn it.
No, that's like the fun stuff, like getting with friends and just doing silly like voices to like just enjoying a fucking experience together and just making fun of it, and like that, it's beautiful. Like I've been loving doing that.
Speaking of enjoyable times with friends and experiences, you do the Weird Flex But Okay podcast. Can you tell me a little more about that?
Yes, I do. Me and my friend Jordan. So we for like the whole story about how me and Jordan met, like in the first episode of the podcast, or maybe the first like 3, we tell the whole story of how we became friends, and it's a fun and wholesome story, and like we're like best friends now, and like we also get together on Discord once a week with the boys, like me and Saber and Paleo and Hero, and like we do a bunch of like, we just watch silly anime and make dick jokes, but a while back, like, I loved podcasts. I love listening to podcasts. I enjoy it quite fondly. And me and Jordan were just always, like, getting into these 4-hour calls, like, just hanging out. And, like, at one point I was like, what if we just made a podcast? Like, what if we just did it? Like,
yeah, just record it.
Yeah, just, like, because we're talking already. We want more. Actually, he just messaged me now, funny enough. Like, he's probably sending me another fucking meme because he likes to send me, like, really scary memes. Like,
scary memes?
Yeah, like he sent me this picture of Rainbow Dash, of like Twilight Sparkle with like realistic eyes that move, and like you'll click it and then it'll start moving and it'll freak you out.
Yeah, no, that's not for me. No, thank you.
I think I pitched it. I was like, let's do a podcast. It'll be funny. What'll it be called? And then he posted on Twitter, what should our podcast be called if we made one? And then somebody was like, Weird Flex, but okay, because that was the meme at the time. And we were like, honestly, because Jordan's a fitness instructor, I'm just a fucking meme lord, and so why not? And so we did, and it's been going for about a year or more now, and we have a Patreon for it. We have like 11 pledgers there. We do like some bonus content every now and then. I do like journal entries there, just of like advice stuff or like silly memes or like dick jokes or something, like, and Jordan will go in every now and then. And yeah, it's just a really fun advice podcast where people email us questions or they tweet questions at us, and then we just go on tangents about, like, could Goku beat this person in a fight? Or we talk about, like, dating advice or, like, advice about life or depression or entertainment. Like, we cover every topic, really, because we both have a very unique perspectives, compared to each other. And, but we're also very much on, like, the same page on a lot of stuff. But, we have a lot of different life experiences. And so it's really cool to, like, come together and just, like, as friends, like, shoot the shit about stuff. Because we both love to talk.
That's the root of all podcasts. We love to talk. So we just recorded it.
We might as well try to do something with it. And, like, And I'd love if it could become something that could be like more like, you know, financially viable and all this stuff. Like honestly, you know, for a while it was more like, because on SoundCloud we have to pay $15 a month to just keep like all the stuff there. So, but now we make like $18 a month from the Patreon, and so it pays for itself. And that was always the goal, like for it to pay for itself, so that we can just do this fun thing together. We're on about a month and a half hiatus right now because we hadn't taken a break in a year, and so we were like, you know, let's just like take a little month or two off and just like go do some stuff, and then we'll come back to it, like with new stories and new experiences. And but yeah, it's really fun, and I love recording that podcast. And I used to do a podcast called Perpetually Ajar on Kruby's channel, KRWBY Productions. That was an interview podcast where we would bring in guests from, like, we had Elizabeth Maxwell, we had the voice of Korra from Legend of Korra, Janet Varney.
Oh, she's like a big improv person too, right?
For sure. She also has her own podcast. Like we would interview like people just on the channel, and like it was really cool. And right now I think that podcast is just on hiatus as well, or it's kind of like we're not really sure if we're gonna move forward with it at this time, like because we've got a lot of like content we're transitioning, like yeah, like a lot of stuff is changing behind the scenes there. But it was a really fun time, like recording that podcast and getting to meet a lot of people through it.
That's exactly why I did this podcast, because I'm like, I kind of know these people on Twitter, might as well message them and record it.
Yeah, like it was interesting because when you messaged me saying like, oh yeah, we have a lot of mutuals, for a moment I thought what was gonna happen is like the first like 20 minutes of the podcast would be like, all right, so like, who do you know?
Oh no, I hate that shit.
Like I was like nervous about that. I was like, oh god, I don't want this just to be like a fucking like
a name drop. Yeah.
It hasn't been that. Like who do I know? Like fuck that shit, dude.
You could even tell when I was telling my Game Grumps story, I was reluctant to be like, oh, I had the couch, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's like Cause there's like a fine line, you know, between being like confident and cocky. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong with like, if you fucking know people and like you're doing your shit, there's nothing wrong with talking about your life, especially when you're being interviewed. But it's just, you know, there's a vibe, there's an energy, there's a way that you do things, you know.
For sure, yeah.
You know, like people are just fucking people. Like, talk about people like they're fucking people. Like,
yeah, don't shoehorn in names and being like, by the way, Jim Carrey was at my house the other day.
Yeah, like. But no, yeah, like I'm very like fortunate and very thankful that I have a lot of like friends that I've made over the years that like we all do like entertaining stuff, but like we go to each other for advice and like we help each other out, and like we like I think one of the most important things that you can ever have are just strong foundations of like love and trust with people. And if you can also get those foundations of love and trust with people that do similar work to you and all that stuff, like if anyone ever tries to tell you from the outside looking in, like, oh wow, you're just friends with this person for this, or oh wow, you're blah blah blah, like shut the fuck up. Like you don't need those people in your life.
And they don't know those people as well, and so they're speaking out of their ass.
Like that fucking shit happens a lot to men and women, like in a lot of industries, I guess. But I think entertainment can be very, very like assholey about that shit. It's like because there is also this problem where people like kind of associate their brand with who they know sometimes. So like your friendship is kind of like a public knowledge, and so if like you break up or this, like they feel the need to like post about we're not friends anymore. And I've never like been for that. Like any relationship I've had, no matter who it's been with, like, you know, when that shit ends, it's like that's for me. I mean, you know, not sometimes, you know, you do need to like make a post, you know, if there's like abuse happening. Like obviously there's situations where you should go public, but like if it's just, you know, you guys just aren't talking anymore and maybe they were a little bit of an asshole, like
right, just let it go.
It happens.
Let it go.
Like, and I feel like I've been someone that's been very good of like when relationships come into my life, when it's time for them to end, I feel like I've handled it as gracefully as I, you know, ever could. Not that I'm perfect, but like it's like I don't have a lot of bad blood with people in the world. There's, you know, no, I'm not like universally loved. Obviously there's people that don't like me, but like, you know, I try my best with every relationship that I have to like, you know, do my best for that relationship. And like, whenever it's time for like things to maybe go a different direction, not to fight it, you know?
That's a beautiful note. I think we're going to end on that. Katy, thank you so much for coming on. I had a fantastic time.
Follow me on Twitter.
What's your handle?
Connie Day Official, Kaniday Official. Sorry I talk so much.
Well, this is an interview show, and I had you on, so that's what people are here for. They want to hear you talk.
Listen to my other podcast if you want to hear me talk more, because I never stop.
No worries. And now I am a little more familiar with Katy.
Hooray!
Let's end this podcast. Every podcast I end it with me claiming it's not a podcast and whatever. Turn it off. I don't care.